Hi, in this video lecture we are going to discuss about how to install Python in your machine and also about few simple programs like how to get the input from the user, how to print the output and so on. That is what is the plan for the lecture. So first of all, to install Python you have to go to this particular website python.org. In the downloads option there will be a way to download. You can see that now the current version of Python is Python 3.8.2, and also there are various options to which operating system you want to download. So whichever operating system is in your machine, you can download the appropriate Python version and you can install it. Installation will be very simple and straightforward, easy method only. And after you install it, you will get a default IDLE. IDE is generally integrated development environment. So Python is coming with a package of integrated development environment which we will be using in this demo session. And when you go below this page, you can see that there are various versions of Python. Basically there are two broad ways of classifying Python, Python 2 and Python 3, but recently most of them have switched to Python 3, but still Python 2 packages, few packages are available, and when you are going to do the projects you should be careful what type of package you are downloading, because there is a significant amount of difference between Python 2 syntax and Python 3 syntax, and also there is a difference in little bit of working also. So whenever you are going to use Python packages, you should be careful to look into it whether you are taking package of Python 2 or Python 3. Nowadays everyone have switched to Python 3 and we are also going to use Python 3 in our courses. So what will be the first program that we will be doing in this courses? Read your name, that is basically your name, house number, flat name, city name. You are going to read 4 input from the user: the name of the user, house number of the user, flat name of the user, city name of the user, and you are going to print the details as following sentences. The first thing is, the first sentence should be my name is. After that the name entered by the user should come, and the second sentence should be like, first of all you should display the house number value what you have got from the user, followed by is my house name number, and then the third sentence should be like I live in dash. This is the name of the flat. You are also getting the flat name, isn't it? You should print here the name of the flat and then flats in, then the city name. This is what is expected. Wherever I have put a dash in this slide, I want you to have the corresponding value entered by the user. This is the plan for the first program. So after installing IDLE, you can just open it like this and you can start working. So our first program, I want to read the name of the user. It is always better to read the have the variable name related. It is always better that you have relevant variable name so that you are easy to remember it, right? So now I am reading as name. First one is the name and second one is going to be the house number. So I am going to give the variable name as house number and I am going to read. Here in this case the house number is going to be like a string only, and then I am going to read the flat name. So flat underscore name equal to input, and then I am going to read the city name. So input is the name of the function which we are going to use for reading the value from the user. This is how we will be using input. And if you want to give some interactive messages, that is because when the program is waiting for the input, the user will be feeling better if we say what kind of input you want. So you can say like enter name. You can easily say, in Python it is very simple, you can pass it like an argument for input function. It is not very difficult like other languages where you have to have separate options. Here itself we can give the interactive message that is going to be displayed. Similarly you can say enter flat name and then enter city name. So I have got 4 values and I want to print it. So how I want to print it is, first output I want it to be like my name is, and then I want the name to be printed. So I am going to use the print function. We know that print function is the function for printing the values. And first you want to print my name, yes. So you give the text, and after that I am leaving a space because I want a space after that. Then you have to put a comma, and then you should place here the name entered by the user. Actually I am using this variable name for getting the name of the user, so that variable will be having the value. So print my name is comma name, like this we can give, and then print next one. Next line should be dash is my house number. So I want the value of the house number entered by the user first, and then followed by this string is my house number. So I will say house underscore number. I want the variable name, variables value first, followed by is my house number, but I want a space after the house number. So I am going to produce a space, right? And then the third line I want to print like I live in dash flats in dash. I want to print the flat names here, and then I want to print the city name here. So one of the way, this is not the only way, one of the way to do is I will say I live in space and then finish the quotes. And one more thing that you should know in Python is you can either put double quotes or single quotes. Both means string only, string constants. Both are equivalent to string constants. There is no concept of characters in Python. So there is no significance for single quote. Here both single quotes and double quotes means the same string only, right? So I can either use single quotes or double quotes, but we should appropriately use it. So now I say I live in, and then I want to print the value stored in the flat name variable. So I will say flat name, and then I want to say flats in, but I want a space before it. Wherever you want to have a space, just introduce it and finish the quotes, and then we can say city name, right? So these are all the three lines I want, and the 4 values you have got from the user, and you are going to print it, right? Now to execute this, there is a shortcut provided by IDLE, that is F5. So you can press F5 and you can see that whatever we have given here inside the input function, that string is coming here, enter name. So I am going to enter the name as Janaki, house number, just I am giving S3, flat name, I am going to give it as diamond, some flat name, and city is going to be Chennai. I am going to give like this. So after I finish entry, see here the details are getting printed. My name is Janaki, S3 is my house number, I live in Diamond Flats in Chennai, right? This is how it will be done. So what we have seen in this thing is how to get the input and how to print it. And one more thing is, when we are using the input function, whatever we get will be treated as string only, and there is no difference like we can get it as an integer or not. Always when you are using the input function, you can get it as a string only. So how we can check this is, first of all I am commenting all the code whatever I have written. We have already seen that triple quotes, triple single quotes as well as triple double quotes are going to indicate multiple line comments. So here I am commenting the entire block of code, triple quotes I am using here, and now I am going to show you how input is, what data type is going to be input. So I am just saying input, and I am going to print the data type of input. So how you can the variable name, how you can know the data type of variable name is, you can say type. Type is a built-in function. If you give the variable name as the input, then type function will return me what type of variable it is. Because we already seen in Python that there is no declaration. You are not going to say, as you are saying in other languages, you are not going to say that A is an integer, B is a character, C is a float, nothing. You are not going to say anything like that. Based on the value stored on it, it is going to decide. But here, in this case, input is a built-in function which we are going to use for getting the input from the user. When you look at the usage of input, it will read only as strings, right? So now I can execute the code and I am entering the name as Janaki, and you can see that it is printing as string. So always it will be reading as string only, right? And that interactive message that we will give within input is optional. You can either give it or you can just leave it. So in this case I didn't want an interactive message, so I didn't give anything. And one more thing that you should know is the memory that is used for the variables. We can know that also. How we can know that is, for that we have to import the sys package, right? Import is like including some built-in libraries. When you want to use some built-in functions that is predefined, then you have to use the import keyword and you have to include the libraries. For using the finding out what is the size and so on, I have to include the sys library which has got the system functions and so on. So I am just importing it and I am going to find out what is the size of this name, what is the size of the variable name. So I am going to say sys dot get size of is the function name. You can use it, get size of, and then I am going to say the I can say the variable name also, name, right? I am going to execute this. Yeah, it is showing 55. 55 is the size, that much of memory, 55 bytes. How much of bytes will be used? That's what it will display. And you can give the data type also. Int is a data type, so you can give a data type also for get size of function, right? So if I am going to execute this, I can just show you. It is saying 400 bytes is allocated for integer. So when you look at the data types, it can be so big in Python. It is not like other languages where you have got restrictions like 2 bytes or 4 bytes only will be allocated for integer and so on. That is the biggest advantage of Python. So only it is being used in many numerical applications where you have to work with a lot of numbers and so on. They prefer using Python packages, right? So we can conclude this demo session and we will continue in the next session about the other things, how we can interact with Python. Thank you.